Today's video is for my Japa people. So my people in US, Canada, and UK. If you are abroad, you have relocated abroad, and you are looking for businesses that you can run right here in Nigeria, there are different opportunities that you can tap into and you can earn from Nigeria even while you live abroad. Then today's video is for you. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Mercedes. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business coach, and I help women to start, build, and grow their businesses online. Number one on today's list is real estate. Yes, this is a fantastic business for any Nigerian that has jackpot to key into in Nigeria, because real estate is thriving. And calm down when you hear real estate, because real estate does not only mean that you should build a property and put it up for rent. That is just one aspect, and it's actually the least paying aspect of real estate. Make a quick analogy. If you build a house and you spend, let's say, between 150 million naira to 200 million naira building that house, and you end up putting it for rent, let's say you had a total of 4 flats altogether, and you end up putting it for rent between 3 million to 5 million naira per annum. Calculate how many years it's going to take you for you to make your money back. This is the reason why I said that renting out your real estate property, renting out your building for tenants to rent is the least paying aspect, but it's still a part of real estate. There are other aspects of real estate that you can key into. If you see me looking down, I'm actually looking into my computer so that I do not forget any of my notes that I've put down. One part of real estate that you can key into is actually renting out. So you can buy and you can build a property that you can rent to people, maybe 2-bedroom flats, 3-bedroom flats that you can rent out to tenants to pay you rent. Another way that you can make money from real estate is for you to convert that property into short-let apartments. These are Airbnbs. Okay, it is really in high demand in Abuja, especially if your property is in a highbrow area. Let's say the Maitama, Wuse, Katampe Extension, Guzape, and the other highbrow areas. You can really cash out from doing Airbnb short-let apartments. Another fantastic way that you can utilize your building in Abuja to, earn from it. And it's not only in Abuja. I'm just using Abuja for example because I live and work in Abuja. So you can look at other thriving cities in Nigeria such as Lagos, Enugu, Port Harcourt, Owerri. These are all places that you can key into to, run your real estate business. Apart from short-let apartments, you can actually utilize your property for students as well. Students move into big cities to learn, and they are not really willing to, rent out big apartments, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartments. There's a way that you can partition these apartments to use for students. Let's say you have a property that has 6 flats in the building and is like a 2 or 3-bedroom apartment each into 6 portions. Now imagine that you partition each of the 2 bedrooms into portions that students can actually rent out. Let's say inside a particular room, you can have 2, 3, or 4 students sharing one room, properly partitioned. This is a way that you can utilize it. And when you do it this way, just like in short-let apartments, you will end up making much more money than somebody who just decided to go into real estate with the mind of, okay, build this 2-bedroom flats into a block of 6 flats and then start renting it out 3 million, 4 million naira in a year. You are actually going to make more money this way. Now, the key thing with these businesses is that you have to, have a trusted manager. You have to have somebody that you can depend on. And you also have to put certain systems in place for you to be able to realize your money. You have to put certain things in place, systems and structure in place to ensure that your money gets to you. It's not a case whereby you are the owner of the property, but then the manager is actually making way more money than you. So these are systems and structures that you have to put in place. It is very, very important. You have to put this in place for you to earn from it. If you decide to buy a property, if you decide to build from scratch, even better, because it will help you to control the quality of materials that go into your building so that your building does not deteriorate before time. Number 2 on my list is agro-processing business. Agriculture business is always going to be a viable business. Whichever way you look at it, is actually always going to be a money-making business. So how can you run an agro-processing business from diaspora right here in Nigeria? You have to actually choose the niche that you want to focus on. So do you want to start by planting from scratch? Do you want to take already planted and harvested products and then package them and process them for supermarket, for stores? Whichever way you want to look at it, all you need to focus on is building and setting up systems and structures that are going to ensure that you're actually making your money from this business. Because remember, you are not around. So you need to, 1, have your systems and structures. Number 2, have a trusted manager that you can work with while you're abroad. You might be wondering, what are some agro products that you can invest in and make money from while you are abroad? And you can look at, for instance, cassava. So you can process cassava into gari. You can process cassava into fufu. Like, I've even seen the powdered fufu packaged and supplied in stores. You can process fish. And if you are going into something like fish, I'm going to advise you that because you are not here in Nigeria, do not attempt to say you are going to do like fish farming. Don't try it, because the managers are going to rip you off. Don't try it. One way that you can do, like, let's say fish, for instance, is for you to take already grown fish from fish farmers and then process them. Cut them in chunks, then dry them up, and then package them. That way, there are easy systems that you can easily put in place. Because, if you cut a full fish into 4 or 5 parts and then you dry them, in the process of drying, one part cannot disappear. So it's all about you knowing how many kg of fish that you took from your suppliers, and then using that to set systems for yourself to know what the output is going to be. How many are you going to package at the end of the day? And it's going to help you to build the business and then grow. There are different parts of agro-processing that you can look into. If you are interested in agro-processing suggestions, you can just drop a comment down below. Or if you want an in-depth mentorship on this, do well to send me an email. My email is going to be linked in the description below. Number 3 is going to be supermarket or mini mart. This one, you actually have to be very, very meticulous with this. If it's possible to come down to Nigeria just for a few months to be able to put things in place and see how it's actually running before you go back. So let's say you have your leave or something, you have a few months, 2 months, 3 months that you can take off work from your job abroad, and you can come to Nigeria to set it up. Do come down, set it up, see how things are moving before you finally go. But trust me, supermarkets, mini marts, these are money spinning machines, especially when you position them in neighborhoods. Now, Nigerians have sort of come out of that ideology of, I need to go to the mall to go and shop. When people are going to the malls these days, they are actually going for other things. But when you position your supermarket in a neighborhood, so it's a neighborhood store, it's so easy for anybody to be able to, just dash out, whether they are strolling out or they are just coming back from school runs and they just branch and then they buy a few things. I mean, I know how many times I do this myself. Yes, I do bulk shopping, but even when I do the bulk shopping, there are certain things that are going to, be exhausted, and I will just come back from school runs, or I'm coming back from one or two errands that I had to run, and I'll just be like, oh, you know what, let me buy something. I'll end up spending 40k, 50k, 60k. And one can do this like 3, 4, 5 times in a month. This is for someone like me who does bulk shopping from the markets, major markets. Okay, now imagine people who do not do bulk shopping in a month. They don't do monthly bulk shopping. Now imagine how much they are going to be spending. So supermarket business is a very, very good one. I would suggest it. But like I said, the way I'm going to suggest it to you, so that you do not lose money in the process, is if it's possible for you to come down and, stay a bit, observe things, and, have a one-on-one with whoever it is who is managing the place for you, see how things are run by yourself, and, be able to take it up from there. Number 4 is water factory. So whether it is sachet water or it is bottled water, water is always going to be a thriving business. All you need to do is position yourself properly. Do not just open a water factory for the purpose of opening a water factory. What are you targeting? Now, there's this other bottled water that, I really like a lot. I think it's called La Sena. And, they have position themselves in a way to show that their own water is different from other water. The water is actually, I think, like mineral water or something like that. Whichever way you want to look at it, water is always going to be a thriving business that you can key into. So you can set up a sachet water factory, or you can set up a bottled water factory. You can also do like a dispenser. This does not mean that in one factory you cannot do the sachet, bottled, and dispenser, but I mean, it's going to be a lot of investment, but if you have the money for it, then that's fine. Look into a water factory that you can set up and start running. It's also easy for you to monitor. It's also easy for you to, track your inventory, track your sales, and all of that to make it successful. Number 5 is school, or any kind of educational services that you can offer. But school is going to be evergreen, because people are always going to go to school. Now, you can decide to do like a crèche. You can decide to, set up a Nigerian primary school. You can decide to do a secondary school. You can decide to go into like target learning. Let me say like a technical school, a catering school. Any form of educational services that you can offer is always going to, be an evergreen business, because people will always go to school. You need to actually look at and choose the niche that you feel that you are best suited for, and do it. Another way I would advise you in structuring this school is going to be, if it is possible, for you to build your own facility, for you to build your own property. Because the thing is, starting up a school is like you are building a community. So now imagine building a community in this particular place. You've built there for years. Maybe you were on a long lease, let's say 5 years. And at the end of the 5-year long lease, you are hoping that you want to, renew your lease and continue, because you now have committed people. You now have this community of people that trust you, that, okay, for one, you are close to their location, whether it's their office or their home. They can easily come. They just know that this is the street where your own school is located. And then the owner of the property can now decide that, oh, I don't want you to stay anymore. Maybe because they've seen how thriving your business has been over the years, and they now want to kick you out. And trust me, the moment they kick you out, they are going to plant their own school there. They are going to plant their own business there. They'll do that same business you were doing there. Though if it was a school like we're discussing, they'll put a school there just for them to take up your customers. And for the mere fact that people have been coming to that place, even when you change a signboard and announce to people that, okay, oh, you're no longer here, this is the new place that you are. For some people, they are not just too loyal to you, they were just loyal to the location. Some other people, you will just be like, you know what, this location was very, very convenient for me. If there's another school there, then I'll just keep my child there. So it is better, if you're thinking of running like a school, it's better for you to, if you have the resources, it's better for you to, build up the property by yourself. Unless you can, sign like a really, really airtight agreement with the owner of this property that you want to lease, and then you lease for a really, really long time, let's say 20 years, 30 years, if that's possible. But it's going to be really difficult for you to see somebody who agrees that I don't want to use my land or I don't want to use my property for 20 years, 30 years. That is the reason why I would advise. But then you can set up after school programs, crèches, tutoring people, centers. Even if it is adult learning, there are different educational services that you can offer to people, and it is always going to make money. You now work on the management of the school. You have to be the one that would craft the vision that you want for this school, so that whoever it is who is stepping into management knows that there are laid down processes that they need to follow. And then you have to keep your eye on it by, also monitoring remotely, like your CCTV footages that you're going to monitor to see. And then you have to be really, really meticulous. But for schools, it's quite easy for you to, monitor management from diaspora. Number 6 is going to be laundry and cleaning services. With the high turnover of staff in this particular business, the proper way that I would ensure that you manage this well and get your money is for you to move to tech. So you can actually build an app that your customers, your clients are going to download and use. This is where they are going to make their bookings. They are going to make their bookings on the app. That way, it is going to be very, very fantastic. And, you're not going to have any manager that is going to be eating up your sweat. So they make their bookings on the app, and then a staff goes to pick it up. If it is for cleaning services, they also make their bookings on the app. That way, you know what kind of house, what kind of property that they were going to clean. You know if it is for the laundry aspect of it, dry cleaning aspect of it. You know how many pieces of clothes that they are picking up. It is now documented on your app, and all you need to do is for a staff that is on ground, your manager, to organize, pick up. That way, you know how many pieces of clothing materials that are being washed or dry cleaned in your business every week, every month, and you're able to now structure that, okay, for this number of clothings, this is the quantity of materials that we're going to need for it, whether it be detergents and other cleaning agents. This is the quantity that we're going to need for it. So if you're taking this route, best believe that tech is going to be your best bet. You can also decide to do like a laundromat, and still bookings are going to be on the app. So the laundromat is more like customers are the ones who just drive by and they come and do their laundry by themselves, and set up like a voucher. This is what they booked on the app. So this is how many pieces of clothing that they are going to, be laundering in your facility. Number 7 is food processing business. Yes, I know, I think it was number 1 or number 2. I mentioned agro-processing. Now, these are two different niches. Agro-processing is different from food processing, even though they are quite related, but they are categorized differently. Food processing would be like you processing a particular food ingredient into something that can be consumed directly. So let's say for agro-processing, you're using fish, right? That could mean like taking the harvested fish, that's fresh fish, and drying it up to package into dry fish chunks, and then you package them and you supply to people. That is agro-processing. In food processing, what you would now do is to take the dried fish chunks, maybe debone them, and probably even grind them into fish powder that can be directly added into food. If it is like cassava, for instance, and it is in agro-processing, you would take the cassava, the raw cassava, and process it into garri or fufu. But in food processing, you are doing something different. You are now packaging this garri in, a certain way that can directly be consumed. Let's say you're now packaging with milk and packaging with something else. You have now added even more value to that product. So now you can think of different food processing businesses that you can go into depending on your strengths. All these businesses, all these 7 businesses that I have stated out, is not going to be suitable for every single person. So you are going to look at the businesses and look at the one that is best suited to you, your strengths and your experiences, your knowledge, or the ones that you can easily learn. When it comes to food processing businesses, you can decide to process baby food if you know how to do that, or if you have interest in that and you can learn it. Or let's say if you are a nutritionist, you can decide to go into processing food for babies. So baby foods, you can process baby foods, you can process pap, you can decide to process different things. You just have to look at the niche in food processing that you can go into, and then you work on getting it done. Now, be sure that for any of these businesses that you choose, you are keeping it in mind that you are going to put up your systems and structures. One system, one structure is even not going to work for across these 7 businesses. Each business with their peculiarities. In fact, even if you are in the same business with somebody else, let's say supermarket now, and you decide to do supermarket, you cannot go and take 100% of the processes in another business and come and put it in your own. Processes and structures are peculiar to each business because you are looking at each target market that you are serving and the different things that you can do to make your own to work. Ensure that you are going to work on the processes. Ensure that you are going to look at the business angle, not just setting it up. You're going to look at the business angle and make sure that everything is making business sense. The next thing is that you are going to look for reliable managers for your business. Somebody who can reliably manage these things, but then you're not going to, fully rely on them. It is your processes, your structures that are going to save you money over the years. Finally, what am I saying with this particular video? You don't have to move back to Nigeria for you to, run a business here. The reason for this video is that as a Nigerian that is living abroad, it is not going to be as easy for you to run business in another man's land as it would be for you to run in your own country. It's always easier for you to run business in your own country. So all you need to do is that you need to, choose a business that is going to work for you, a business that you are more convenient with, and set it up here. Now that you have gone through these 7 businesses that I have shared today, so tell me in the comments, which of these businesses are you more interested in? Which one do you think is going to work for you, depending on your skills, depending on your experiences? Which of them do you think is going to be best suited to you? Tell me in the comments, and my email address is also going to be in the description below. If you need any further guidance whatsoever regarding setting up your business here in Nigeria, do well to send me an email and we can set up a virtual meeting. I'll see you on the next one.